and worked as a maid in the hotel. And I was down to see her and I thought, oh, that's so glamorous. She's got water, running water, all
What's
that
that in
stuff.
her hand?
That's yours.
Mine, what's that?
That's my family tree.
It's sure blank.
Yeah.
what was your wedding day like? What,
It was cold, just about like this.
I mean, were there many people there and that kind of stuff? Or?
Well, not like they do nowadays. Probably about 25, 30 people.
Around that.
Yeah, and
His family.
Charles and Catherine came down the night before. Willis came the wedding day, but he was a ring bearer. He still remembers how old I am and when we were married and everything. I talked to him on the phone the other day.
Catherine?
Huh?
Charles and Catherine?
Yeah, his mother,
His mother.
Catherine.
Okay.
My sister. And
Yeah, that's right.
she made homemade donuts. I know the night before we had homemade donuts. Now, why do I remember that? I don't know. But then, Dad, I've got the earrings that Dad gave me for my wedding gift. And I'm afraid to wear them, I'm afraid I'll lose them. And then everybody went off to the church. And here was Catherine and me, I suppose Charles. Everybody else had gone to the church and left me home at the house alone.
So how did you get to the church?
Catherine drove the car. We had a car. And then we had a dinner. Lucille and Mrs. LeMay and Mrs. Bauer cooked our wedding dinner, had it at the church. And then you were excused for a while. We went out and fixed our little house up. You helped me make the bed that day.
It what?
And then we
So
had,
what did you have for your church, for your wedding dinner?
we had before I made the salad, it was I don't know, it was pineapple and all kinds of stuff that would be cut in squares. And we had ham, potatoes. We had a decorated cake. And I don't, you ought to remember something. What do you remember about it?
I don't.
And then in the evening we went down to Hewitt and danced. We had a dance down there. Danced with everybody. And see, for the wedding we just invited family. And then those that came to the dance brought gifts too. And most of them I've got yet. A lot of them. That double boiler I've got that's hard to get at. That was one. And I've got a pie tin, that blue stuff with the designs in. That was another thing. And Irish has gave me a set of dishes, and somebody else gave us a
Well,
set
that
of
blue
dishes.
set up here, the Elmer gave us.
The what?
Elmer gave us a blue dish
Blue.
set up here.
The blue
Elmer
thing.
Irish?
Yeah.
The blue thing that I told Christy he gave us. Creamer and sugar.
I don't know.
There's blue.
I suppose it is. It's up there now.
And those people that had turkeys gave us a blue rolling pin to match. I broke that, I guess. I wonder how. That's what that is. And well, they weren't big gifts like you get. I think Clara gave us a bedspread, I believe, and we got a blanket or two.
And the Schraders was there.
Huh?
Schraders, they come
Yeah, Schrader's were there.
from Fergus.
Don Leona, you mean, or
Don and
the,
Leona Schrader?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
they have a lot of items, don't they, from your?
They got a whole house full.
Yeah, I was in there, and you know they
Were
showed
ya?
some of the, in there. They showed me some of the things that from your family, or they,
Oh, they got quite
Packard
a lot
and
of stuff, you see.
Well, when we were at graduation, I think at their place, wasn't it? And they invited us to come out and see their new
Yeah.
house.
yeah.
And surprises, we went.
See, Don's grandma and my grandpa the brother and sister.
Yep.
He was, Cecilia Packard, and mine was Walter Packard.
But even that basement is full of things.
Yeah.
And now there was a chair that you wanted, but it went to somebody else in the family. So in a case like that, why you don't like to say, well, I really want it, because somebody else really wanted it too.
Mhm. Well, I just told Leona that I wanted to make sure it stayed in the family,
Yeah.
that it didn't go outside the family.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But are those kids going to want all that stuff she's got there?
I don't
Well, you
know.
wouldn't think so. I know she.
It seems like they
Yeah,
had
a lot of
chest
stuff,
drawers
yeah.
too, just
And-
full of stuff.
Yeah, it's just a lot of things. I know he also didn't he have a pocket watch collection too.
Yeah, he's got a watch collection.
But
And well, they've had a lot, and then they've been out. They used to go to a lot of auction sales.
yeah, I've met him a couple
Yeah,
years ago. But
and I don't know. She called here a couple of weeks ago, see how everybody was, and I should call Janelle again. I know she got the message, but I could do it anyway.
but getting back to your wedding, how far in advance did you plan your wedding? I mean, how long, how many, like, was it a few
Oh,
months
gosh,
or?
I don't know. It wasn't like now.
What is this?
It was like, what, do you
When you
remember it all?
decided to get
Get married,
how
how
long
long?
was it between times
Well,
and
we
you
were
setting
engaged.
a date? Or?
We were engaged February 29th, wasn't it? It was 28th.
It does seem like.
And Dad, he and Butch both sent to, was it Montgomery Ward for our diamond rings? And then they came and they wanted to bring them uptown to us, and Sylvia was working in Wadena. You had to shovel snow like,
We blocked it.
but they got, so we were engaged at the end of February and got married in September. And, well, I guess you must have proposed to me before you sent for the ring.
You asked me.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Did you really?
I don't remember it.
Do you remember, Dad?
Sure, I.
Well, what did she say?
Oh, sure.
Please, please, please.
No. When we get married, we'll just do that,
Well, yeah.
So she brought up the idea then.
Yeah.
We just took it for granted.
Yeah, that was right.
And so how many kids did you want to have?
I don't
Did
know.
you ever talk about it?
I don't. We had to wait till we could afford to feed him, I think. Didn't we?
What is that?
She wanted to know when we decided how many kids we wanted.
Or if you thought about how many kids
I
you
think
wanted?
you just decided that again.
Well, I remember I was coloring pictures for Rex McDonald, and he had me in there one time, and I think we had 2 kids and 2 boys probably, and he says, if you're really serious about the coloring, I could send you to school where you'd learn a lot more, but then you'd have to be working for me. And I said, well, we really wanted 2 of each. We don't want to give up having kids now. And that's what we had.
Yeah, you did.
I never knew he offered to send you away to school.
Well, he didn't, because I was not that serious.
No, but he made the offer, you said.
Oh yeah, he made the offer.
But I thought what you did was very incredible, all the pictures that you
You
did.
know, it was so funny, these Gleasons that I went to that picnic with that Sunday that we went to the picnic with. Oh, she said, I think she was hinting. She went back to the studio. She was from Alaska. And she ordered a graduation picture and then another one that was done later. And she said they were colored and they were so beautiful. They looked so natural, like they were taken in color. she was going on and on and on. And she says, but those that I ordered the other day, I'm going to have to take them black and white.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I said, yeah, I said, I threw everything away. I said it was all good. Yeah, she says, I suppose you do get tired of, well, people were asking me to do colored pictures and I wasn't set up for it anymore and the paint was getting dry and I don't know, maybe I got all kinds of brushes yet. Would you like some nice painting brushes?
Do you still have your wedding dress then?
Huh?
Do you still have your wedding dress?
Wedding dress?
Your,
No, I
Laura
gave,
has it.
oh,
Yeah, I
that's
gave it
right.
to Laura.
Oh,
and the white shoes that went with it, and the veil.
And I have buttons from your wedding suit.
That you might as well have had the suit too. I probably wore that a half a dozen times, and it was expensive.
My suit, the worms took it over.
oh, really?
Then we burned it.
Really?
The moths ate it or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
wool in it, you know.
but
But it's
you know,
a darn good fur coat too. Well, it wasn't really fur.
it was a sheepskin, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yes.
But the moths were in it.
There's the collar and the back of all that. It was all sheepskin. And it was a real warm coat. I bought it new. The damn worms in it. Fell right off. You know, the hairs. Well, I went up and stuck too.
that's too bad.
And when I was
But
young,
it was hard to.
Oh.
But there's no use keeping it, you know.
No, not
The
in
shape
that
it
condition, yeah.
well, my fur coat I sold too. That was a hair seal.
Yeah, it seems to me I recall seeing you pictures
Yeah,
of
that was on that wagon there.
yeah.
Well, I wore it some after we were married, but I was pregnant half the time, so it didn't fit. But Peggy and I
Yeah.
went down. Of course, we worked late hours every day till 6 o'clock, and one night we made an appointment at the ladies' dress shop, and we each ordered a fur coat. And then I had the cutest little. It was a pillbox hat, red velvet with a ribbon on it. That was so cute.
I
But they're all
remember,
gone.
speaking about the rings, we didn't have a phone, you know, folks did. So you want to use the phone, right? If you got Zacharias, he said. So I went up there to call Bernice. I think the road was blocked then, and probably the reason I was up there.
Oh, I think so.
But anyway, how was I gonna tell her? Mrs. Zacharias, whenever I started talking, she was in that room. You don't get what I mean.
Mhm.
So how could I tell Bernice the rings come?
Mhm.
And I finally told her that we got an insured package and Howard brought it out. Let her know, you know, that what it was.
Uh huh.
What do you remember? What car you had when you you know at your wedding? What kind
Well,
of car?
that was that Chevy, wasn't
When
it?
we got married, you mean?
Yeah.
What car we had? It was 41 Plymouth. Her car.
Yeah, that
Oh.
was my car.
Oh, would you?
Well, he
It was-
knew what he was doing. He took
I didn't have a car.
oh, that's kind of unusual. I didn't know you had a car. And
Well, that was the first car I ever had too.
In a
Oh.
way, it was a wee car, but
yeah.
see, neither one of us had any. And well, every darn thing I tried to find, it was either shot or it's a damn high price. You know, a car 10 years old is going $1,200. Pickups is either shot or out of the commission. The guy that worked for Rex McDonald, he kept trying to get a Plymouth. Well, we didn't want a Plymouth, but he finally located this one down Beagle Bend. Real good shape.
Oh.
I guess we give 1,100 for that one, or we.
Hmm?
We'll give 1,100 for that Plymouth.
I don't know what we gave for it, but I had cash anyway.
But it was real good. Well, and that burnt.
What do you mean burnt? Started?
And then we got another one just
Flames
about.
on, you know.
Hey, really? That's the way it ended?
Well, Bruce was a
Okay.
baby at that time. I forgot all about that. I took the car to town with the two boys, and I stopped down at Irish's at the foot of the hill. Did I buy something for her? I don't know, but I just stopped to visit a neighbor, and I had the two little boys with me. And and when I got through, I went up the hill, and Grace came running up. She says, your car's on fire." Well, I took the two boys and put them to bed. Sid was in a way far field across the farm, and I ran down there to tell him the car was on fire. And in the meantime, Grace Irish and her mother made it up the hill, and they took the kids out of their beds in, so the house could have caught fire with a car. I forgot all about
Car
that.
was up the road,
Oh, it was far
though.
enough
Car
away.
was up the road, I say.
Yeah, it was out by the road, but you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think I know how it started, but I'm not positive of it. Well, there east of Irish is a wooden bridge. And it sunk way down and had that bump. You know what I'm trying to say.
Kind of a dip in it somewhat? Or?
The bridge was settled down,
Right.
and you go through that, it
Oh,
circle there. And that day, well, anyway, something with the oil part that you filled in there at Carter's or something. I never did tell him anything about it either.
Yeah, I just had the car fixed
Yeah,
and tell him.
and I think he had the funnel was up there on top of the battery. And I think when she went through that hole, it threw that damn funnel up in there, and then it came down on top of the battery and shorted across and started a fire. It sounds fishy, but
well,
it could have happened.
sure.
We did have insurance on it though.
Oh,
I remember Mark's Walker was in there, and we had to paint that over. So
But
that's
then we bought another one just like it, Plymouth, one that's
didn't burn that one out.
different color.
So you see, we've had a lot of things happen to us.
but you know, after you were married, did they have stuff tied behind your car like they usually do? Did they tie tin cans or you know whatever things like that?
Trim it
or-
up, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know that they did.
Is what?
Did they
No.
decorate your car
No,
after your wedding?
because the next day we headed for Park Rapids.
Hmm.
So I don't know that they. But I know when Grandma and Grandpa had their golden wedding, we had it at their house. No, we had it down on Irish's.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought them, well, there were just the two families, we couldn't afford too much. We bought them a used TV, and boy, did they love that.
Oh, I
They
bet.
didn't have a TV at all before that.
Oh,
And then people trimmed their car all up with tin cans and old shoes and stuff. And Grandma and Grandpa drove up one day now and ran around town showing their bingity bang stuff. I think they got a thing out of that.
Our car, when we got married, I don't know who done it.
Can you hear him?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say anything.
I think somebody
Well,
did
that
something to
way.
your car.
On the back fender, we'd had it painted over the car. And somebody painted "Just Married" on the side of there, and they used shoe polish.
yeah.
You could see that when they jumped it yet.
Yeah.
It just come right out there, you know.
Right. I hear that's kind of cuts right in the paint. Doesn't come off.
I didn't know who in the group that did that, but I just can't think of it now.
Somebody rode on our car
Mm-hmm.
that
On
one,
the back bumper, or back fender.
and that one night that we had the dance.
I believe it was,
Because the
Oh.
next
when they
day,
wrote it down. We'd-
no, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
We
said-
didn't just have it painted then.
You said your dance you had in Hewitt. Did you say?
That's right. We came back. We went up north and for our honeymoon trip. We left Danny and Nerve off at Park Rapids, And then we went up into the iron mines and like that. Then when we got back from that, we took Lois down to the specialist in the cities. I can't remember what was wrong with her then. And so it was sitting around for a while.
Mhm.
You see, you forget a lot in that many years.
You know, years ago, I think I remember my folks talking about, I think the term was a chivalry, or
They what?
Chivalry.
chivalry.
Chivalry,
Yeah, did they still?
We didn't have a chivalry.
Oh, okay. I thought,
We
seems to me
invited
my
most
folks
of our
did.
friends to the wedding, to the dance, didn't we?
and what?
I think most of our friends came to the dance.
Oh, yeah, a lot more too.
So what kind of a band did you have?
Oh, the same kind that, who did,
Regular dance band
Saturday night
that we knew.
dances, we would go. It was the same band. But this one was ours and we had to pay the band.
Cause I don't remember who played on that, but I know we knew them.
But-
Well, they get together and a few play instruments and you
Right.
dance.
but the place where you had
Hewitt.
that, yeah, is that building still there?
No, it burned.
Oh,
Yeah. See, we burned up a lot of, we didn't burn it though.
Now that community hall, is that what that was called in Hewitt?
I think so. And then
They
people
were-
sat on benches around both sides.
It
Then
was
you
a big
got,
place, a real nice building.
and then afterwards we'd go down and buy a hamburger and
They were fixed, they had a balcony up there in the front and then a big screen at the other end. So they had moving pictures there and they were just made for everything per year. Big meetings and stuff. It's a really a nice building.
but
Some of the, there in town unloaded a bunch of feed into it. Too much, it went right to the basement.
oh,
So that was the end of that building.
oh. Now, the St. Anne's Church there, was it basically the way it was now? I mean, I know they remodeled recently, but
it
was
was
it?
the same as now except the outside steps were on the
Yeah,
outside.
they were exposed.
Mhm.
When we
So
were
it was
married
like
there.
when we were married then.
Yeah.
So it hasn't changed that much since
Well,
then.
no.
And
Was it you or Nancy that the day before we found all those pigeon droppings all over the steps? That must have been Nancy. And they had it all cleaned up the day of the wedding.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Well,
but
another
the inside of the church is up there at the back end.
pretty
That
much
is
the same.
altogether different.
The back of the church? Oh,
Do they have them yet?
Huh?
All those statues, there's the whole,
Sure, the
whole
statue.
thing clear around there was all
Well,
statue of the birth of Christ
the-
or something in there.
The stations. I think they're the same as they were when I had the paint store. Why, Joanne, what's her name? Hudson. She came down and she bought all paints there to repaint all those little statues of the Stations of the Cross. So I think they're still there.
Probably are, but this other stuff, this is the Station of the Cross.
Well, there could have been some statues moved or something.
Well, the altar was totally different then.
Yeah, the
It
altar,
was huge and it went up.
and the priest had his back to the people.
do you,
That's what you're thinking.
do you remember the priest's name?
Hmm?
Do you remember the priest's name that married you?
Yeah, Father Langer.
No,
No,
Reverend
not
Plakta.
you.
Reverend Plakta.
Huh?
Plakta,
Plakta?
married to you and I.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
It was, all right. And then another thing we used to do, Saturday night was, movie night. Somebody wrote it in the Reminisce here just recently. You'd take all the kids, the whole family, they'd get their chores done, they'd get in the car, they'd probably have some popcorn for the kids and stuff. and they'd take blankets, and the kids would sit on the blanket and watch a movie that was shown on the outside of a building. And the kids would all be in their pajamas if they put them in in the car if they went to sleep,
Well,
and they'd show the movies, whatever they had. You didn't have a choice, and yeah, we'd take the 3 older kids. You weren't along then. And they'd all get a bath at the same time. Put all 3 of them in there.
why wasn't Christy with? She too
Huh?
little, or
What?
you said the kids
Before
were
she
with?
was born.
That's
Oh, before she
her
was
time.
born. Okay.
And hurry up with the bath and get them dressed and get them in the car, and we were off to Hewitt to the show.
I never heard of that being done before. That's
You never did? Yeah.
no. No,
So
at all.
they charge for that? Or?
No, it was just free.
Free.
Well, that was kind of nice.
It was on the east side of the street. And,
I think we sat on the west side though, didn't we?
well, I thought we sat on the east side, but it doesn't matter. But I read
thought-
that
thought that
in one of these Reminisce magazines. No, this is a new one. Isn't it? Well, anyway, I wouldn't be able to find it, I don't suppose. But, let's see, Anthony. But you see, then the people would come in and bring their eggs and sell them and buy groceries and whatever they needed until on Saturday night. But not every town had these movies. This was
No, I never
this
heard
was
of it.
Hewitt, and I don't know how they. Of course, you couldn't do it in the wintertime. It was just a nice summertime. So that's.
Was that,
I wonder if our boys remember. I bet Mark does. He remembers a lot of stuff.
was that talking movies?
I don't know. Either that or there was music. I don't know which.
Well, like they used to have, it's a moving, it's like always, but they were no
Silent.
talking in it. No, it's that way.
Well, they used to.
And I just believe those first of the receivers, there was no talking to it.
I don't remember. I just remember putting all 3 kids in the tub at once so we could wash them all at one time and get out of there. Because of course you could park. The earlier you got there, the better parking you got. And old movies. When I was a kid, we went to a movie in Iowa. We were down there.
In Iowa.
Yeah,
Oh, really? What-
my grandma lived there yet, and we about 3 times in my lifetime I think we got down to see her. But there was somebody would sit up in the front and play the piano through everything, and